Hey, this is Jennifer with Make My Heart Smile. Crochet along with me today to learn the Tunisian crochet stitch or style. Um, if you're a new member, welcome. Check out my other lessons and tutorials on my channel, because if you're a returning subscriber, you know that this is just part of a series of crochet lessons. But I have something special to show you today. If you have seen my previous video on the all-in-one granny square yarn from Red Heart, you know that I have made all kinds of granny squares like this with this color scheme, and I'm going to show you real quick what I've been making with them. I remember mentioning that I was thinking of making a bag, but with 15 granny squares, I'm going to show you that I'm not just making one bag, I'm making several things. So I'm going to show you that in a moment, but know that the instructions for this little tutorial, very short tutorial on Tunisian, the written instructions will always be in the description below, along with timestamps. So let me show you. Now this is just a smaller bag. I don't know if I can get this bigger one in the shot here fully, but I went to just Hobby Lobby and I got a canvas bag, and that was my insert, which made it really, really simple. There was some, of course, seaming of the granny squares, and so for this one, this is just a rectangular bag, and I use the just the common seaming stitch for them, and then I actually did sew it to the canvas bag insert, and that was just really, really easy, instead of actually having fabric as an insert inside. So highly recommend getting canvas pouches. That took, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, 10 granny squares for that. And then I had, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left over. So 15 granny squares out of that skein of yarn. And yeah, I'll leave a little link to that video if you want to see that, as far as these granny squares. And so then I also had this little zippered canvas insert pouch from Hobby Lobby. And so I've seen these cute little granny square bags, little slouch bags, tote bags, whatever you want to call them, and I've been wanting to try one, lining up the granny squares in kind of a triangular fashion like this. So I did the invisible seaming stitch, or mattress stitch it's called, and really love that. And then I just added these little triangles, and I know black yarn is so hard to see, because when I put the canvas insert, this little zippered guy in there, you still could see some of the canvas. So I did these little triangles, and then this time I just got some crafting tacky glue, and instead of sewing it, I just glued it. I glued it here just under the zipper, and that seems to be working. We'll see how it holds up, but obviously it's missing a strap. So that's what led me to want to try Tunisian, and I'm not going to show you with this black yarn for the tutorial because, as you know, black yarn is just super, super hard to see the stitches, and I've been trying Tunisian here actually for the first time myself with black yarn. Not recommended, friends, but obviously I want the straps of my bag to be black, so I just got some really inexpensive, again, Red Heart, just black yarn that is obviously matching the yarn that was in that skein of yarn for the granny squares, and I have been trying a Tunisian stitch for a strap for this bag, because usually in my experience, crocheted straps, the usual half double crochets, whatever, single crochets even, just the strap is super, super stretchy, and I wanted something really strong and not as stretchy. Obviously, this is just acrylic yarn, so it's going to be somewhat stretchy, but this is working up really, really well. And I just wanted to show you, if you've ever wondered or have been curious about Tunisian crocheting, this is just a little short tutorial. So let me put this aside. Oh, before I forget. So what to do with these extra? I had 2 extra granny squares. Well, they make fantastic little pouches. Like, I need to get some buttons. So I'm going to seam these up, put a little button, and then have just the cutest little, I don't know, you know, it could hold anything. It could hold your earbuds, it could hold an AirPod case, it could hold credit cards, it could hold, goodness, so many things, friends. It could be then, you know, attached to a backpack with a keychain, or just a loop, a little yarn loop. It could be attached to your purse or whatever, you know. So that's what I plan to do with these 2 extras, little granny squares that I have. So that in total, 15 granny squares from 1 skein of yarn has made 1, 2, 3, 4 items, ranging in size from big, medium to small. So I'm pretty pleased with that, and I highly recommend that. It's very cost effective, and just making some fun things. In my case, I'm going to be selling them at market. So let me show you the Tunisian stitch. Now, friends, there are a lot of different ways to do this actually. This is one that I found that works well for beginners and that I have been really liking. So obviously your materials, of course, you know I'm going to use my 6mm crochet hook and my loops and threads tube yarn to show you this right now. Now this is pretty stretchy yarn, so you can use whatever yarn you'd like. Preferably something that doesn't split easily and isn't a dark color. So let's see what we can do here. So it starts off with a chain, well, of course, a slip knot. So slip knot, and putting that on the hook. The amount of chains you do is going to be the width of your strap. So in this case, I'm making a strap, whatever you would like to do. Now you're going to be loading your crochet hook. So if you want this thing, whatever you're making, maybe it's a pot holder, maybe it's a coaster, maybe it's, I don't know, a strap like I'm doing, then you know that maybe perhaps using a longer crochet hook where you have more space. This is kind of like, Tunisian's kind of like crochet meets knitting meets weaving. That's kind of my take on it. But the width of your project is going to be how many chains you make. And so in this case, I'm making a strap. So my width, my first chain here is just going to be six chains because I don't want my strap to be that wide. So whatever you would like, but in learning here, I would just recommend not more than maybe 8 chains. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to go look on the back bumps. We're going to go back across, working into the back bumps here. So let's see what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in we go. And that can be a little tricky, but you can do it. Into that back bump. And basically we are loading the hook with incomplete single crochet stitches. So here, you know, I would normally yarn over and pull through both both loops on the hook to complete a single crochet stitch, but that's not what we're doing. We're loading the hook. So you're going to need room on the hook. So this is where you might understand that the length of your hook. If you've got little rubber handles like I do, then you don't have much space here. Do you see what I'm saying? If you're using a plastic or a metal, or like I just showed you, a wooden crochet hook with no grippy on it, you'll be fine. But I've got limited space. But that works for my purposes because I'm just making a strap. So that's something to think about. So I'm just poking it through. Yes, I'm using my index finger because those back bumps can be a little tight, right? And yarning over, just pulling up a loop. Okay, so we're yarning over and pulling up loops and loading our hook. And this is my last one right here with 6 chains. Hopefully I have, let's see, 7 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Now, that is my forward pass where we're loading up the hook. Okay? And then as we go back, we're going to be yarning over, pulling through 2 at a time in this case. And again, there's lots of different ways to do this, but this is the method I'm really enjoying right now. So yarning over, pulling through 2 at a time, going back across. Yarn over, pull through 2, oops, yarn over, pull through 2, and it can be really easy to just accidentally pull through all of those, so just make sure your hook comes back up. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and so you'll see these bars, pretty tall bars. So now we're going to go back across, forward pass, loading up the hook again. Now we're not going to go under this first bar here that we just made. We're going to go into the second. So underneath that bar, yarn over, pull up a loop, like you're starting a single crochet. Into that sidebar, yarn over, pull up a loop. We're just loading the hook again. Yarning over, pulling up. Insert, yarn over, pull up into that sidebar. And then don't forget the last one right here. Don't skip it. Again, count how many loops on your hook and pull them up a little tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So however many chains, you're going to have an extra loop. So I did 6 chains. I have 7 loops. And then going back across, it's a yarn over, pull through 2 at a time. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Oops. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. It's pretty repetitive. Just making sure your count stays the same each time. So then we've got what looks like a weaved pattern, in my opinion. And then these bars sticking up. Okay, so not into the first one, but the second bar. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. And just load it up again. And that last one, pull it tall so they're easier to pull through. And need more yarn here. Going back across, we are again yarning over, pulling through 2 at a time. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I've been doing it with black yarn, but with this lighter colored wonderful tube yarn where I can see my stitch definition so well. I'm really liking that. I can see it. Let's see what the back looks like. Okay. So that's wrong side. This is right side, in my opinion. So yeah, that's how it goes. Not too difficult in my opinion. And then of course, however many rows you do is the length of your project. And for me, I am doing a black strap for my little bag, and I'm going to want that to be probably about 20 inches for a little clutch, like a little tote, just to put over the shoulder. So I'm really looking forward to doing that, and I hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial. I thought that'd be fun to show you something new and different, and this is, I mean, this is really solid in my opinion as far as using it as a strap for a bag. So really pleased with that. And that is the Tunisian, or one variation on Tunisian. So hope you enjoyed this. And if you want to support my channel, give it a like and subscribe to follow along for more. Leave a comment if you have any questions or you have used this to make a cute little project. I would love to know. All right, friends, happy crocheting. See you next time.